This is Max here. This is Wealthier by the Day, the series. This is day 2, and this is my video. I'm going to be talking about lifestyle inflation, essentially increasing your income, basically your pay scale ceiling, and additionally, I'm going to cover having goals for the amount you're investing every week, month, year, pretty much just having goals. I already recorded a video and the audio was super messed up. I'm still getting this whole Bluetooth mic thing in check, so I'm gonna make this relatively short. The last video was like 20 minutes of some good stuff, but it doesn't matter. Moving forward. So yeah, with this series, just going to be covering different topics every day, stuff that comes up in my brain, stuff that I think is important in terms of pursuing financial freedom, even just running, effective personal finances in your life, right? And there's all sorts of stuff. So lifestyle inflation is a huge thing. This is something you've probably heard a ton of people talk about. Lifestyle inflation basically says this: as your income goes up, as you earn more money, you tend to spend more money. And I think when you put it that way, in most simplest terms, it's obvious and it's true. And I've seen this firsthand with myself. As my income has gone up, I tend to spend more money. And I wouldn't say that spending is always like frivolous spending, like maybe people assume. It's like, oh, you're just frivolously spending your money. No, sometimes like when you spend your money, there's needs, there's like kind of needs, and then there's things that you don't really need, right? So like I bought a new truck recently. Was that a need? Well, I did need transportation. I'm actually currently borrowing my sister's old car again because my truck is in the shop. That's a different subject, but like like I said, there's needs, there's kind of needs, and then there's things that you don't really need, that you buy because you want, which is fine. We'll call them wants. Like, it's fine if you want to buy stuff you want. But for example, it's like, let's say your income goes up and you're like, okay, I can afford to buy a house. Well, a house, despite what people think, is a total money pit. You just put so much money into a house. Obviously, you kind of get something out on the other side, but a house is a liability at the end of the day. Yeah, maybe you start a new job, but with that new job, it's like, well, I kind of need the car to match that job, which again is something that people don't really think about. But as you move up in your career, there is like, you have to look the part. Like, you can't look like a bum. I do, but that's because I haven't gone far enough yet. But you get what I'm saying. Like, as you progress through life and you make more money, you're going to have to accommodate that uprising with spending more money. Plus, it's like, as you get older and you work more, it's like, you're like, I'm going to be doing this for a long time anyways. Why not just treat myself a little bit? Like, you got to live your life, right? You can't. It's the thing is like skipping out on coffee. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna save $500 a year if I don't go to Starbucks and get coffee. Maybe it's more. And it's like, come on, like, in the grand scheme of things, is that going to move the needle in terms of when you're actually going to get to retire? Maybe, but probably not. So enjoy your coffee. Enjoy the things in life you enjoy. Just be conscious of your spending and do your best to minimize that spending. And do your best, if you are making more money, do your best to take advantage of that and keep your expenses from exponentially increasing along with your income, I think, is the best way of putting it. And the best way to do that is to have a budget, one. Two is to actually track your income. And three is just to put the two against each other and see what the delta is and see where you're at. And that kind of rolls into my next point of increasing your income. Obviously, the more money you make, the higher chance you have of investing more money. And this kind of goes into my next point. But to earn more money, you either have to, and let's assume that you're employed like majority of people by a company, you don't own your own business. So in order to make more money as an employee, you have to either ask for a raise or go find a new job that's going to pay you more money. Let's say you ask for a raise and it works out. Okay, that's sweet. Let's say, like a lot of people, maybe you're not super comfortable asking for a raise and you'd almost rather just go get a new job if you're going to make more money. Well, if you're going to get a new job, you can either make a lateral move in the same industry with a relatively same position, and maybe you could just find a company that pays that position a little bit better. For example, I'm a project manager. So maybe I just go find another PM job that pays more money, which is great. Like that's an awesome move. Or maybe you want to move up in that same industry. So you look for jobs like me, I'd look for a job as a senior project manager or a program director, something of that nature. And I can make more money with that job. There is more effort that probably goes into that, which is another subject, but like maybe there's a little bit more time and effort that goes into that. So is it worth it? Or you move industries, and moving industries maybe you have enough credential and experience to just make that move. Maybe you need some training. Maybe you need to go back to school. Maybe it's a total revamp of your entire career. Maybe it's a new career path. So those are some various ways where you have the potential to make more money. But if you're like the vast majority of people, getting a new job or getting a raise from your current employer or going one of those routes that's the easiest way or the most feasible way for you to make more money. Obviously, you can start a side hustle or you do that or that, this or that. The thing that most people won't tell you is that starting a side hustle, one, it's not that easy to make money. It's not as easy as people make it out to be. And two, if it's like a social media side hustle or this or that, it might take a while to really make a substantial amount of money. Like I said, I do it on the side. It's not nearly as easy as people think or intuitive. In fact, I would say the vast majority of people that try to pursue a side hustle probably fail because it's not like you do it and all of a sudden you're making money. It takes a ton of work. And if you have a full-time job that's already demanding, good luck. Good luck finding that time when you have a busy life. Either your wife is going to be yelling at you a lot, or you're not going to be making a lot of money. And me, I don't know how it happened, but I'm in both. I got both of those going on. So I guess I need to figure my shit out. All right, we're back. And the last point I wanted to make is you need to have goals for your investing, right? Obviously, I'm hoping you're privy to the fact that if you want to grow your wealth and potentially retire early and actually have financial freedom, you need to invest in assets. And the asset that's easiest for the vast majority of people to invest in is the stock market because it's very accessible, especially if you live in the Western world. Like me, I can go buy stock and sell stock on a daily basis. Easy. It takes me 5 seconds. So my biggest recommendation to people is have a investing schedule, have a goal. Say I'm going to invest $200 a week. I'm going to invest $1,000 a month. I'm going to invest in a total $20,000 a year, and track that progress and hold yourself accountable. And maybe rather than eating out 4 times a week, you save that money and you invest it into the stock market. Now that's going to take you changing a habit, which is much easier said than done. I think we can all agree. Nonetheless, it is possible. It's very possible. And it's just a matter of doing. And the easiest way for you to do something like that, I'm telling you, is to track it, to write it down, to have a plan, execute that plan. And when you're done executing the plan, track that you executed the plan. You will get a huge sense of reward, and you'll start that process of changing that habit. And if you don't want to eat out as much during the week, write that down, have a plan. Writing things down and having a plan is like half the battle, in my opinion. If you can write it down and conceptualize it and see it on paper visually, then your chance of success is a million times higher. That's coming from someone who loves spreadsheets, loves tracking things. It helps to make my life much more organized, and it helps me to execute on all my goals. So have a plan, have a plan and have goals can apply to your entire life. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's your marriage. I don't care if it's your exercise routine. I don't care if it's your job. Have plans, write things down, be organized, execute those things, check them off your list, and feel good about yourself that you accomplished something. So just to recap, we talk lifestyle inflation. Try your best to keep your expenses low. The best way to do that, to hold yourself accountable, is to have a budget and to write out that budget. And I didn't really say this in the video, but track your cost every month and see how your actual expenses compare against your budget. You have no idea how helpful this is in, cutting down on your expenses. I tell my wife, we had $1,000 last month to buy groceries. You spent $1,200. What happened? I'm not being mean. but I am asking the question because it's an important question to ask. So have that plan, and do your best to mitigate your expenses. Like, that's all I can really say about that. Two, um, figure out if you could potentially make more money at your job. If you can't, maybe find another job where you can make more money. Think about that. Again, write it down. Have a plan. Um, Create some action items and try to execute those action items. That's going to be your easiest way in making more money now. A side hustle is probably not the answer. I'm telling you. Try to make more money at your job, your career, and maybe in the future you won't have to do that job as long. But try to make as much money as you can now. Maximize your job-driven income, I guess we could say. And then three, have a goal for how much you want to invest on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, annual basis. Doesn't matter what time interval it is, just make sure you have a plan. That's what's really important. Okay, so those are a few things we covered today. That was awesome. As far as my journey goes, I mean, let's face it, day 2 is not much more different than day 1. The stock market had an all right day. I think my portfolio was probably up like $1,500. So, yay! The stock market is obviously a long game. So I'm not. Those daily fluctuations are more for entertainment. I don't act on them. I don't really care. Investing is a long-term game. Financial freedom is obviously a long-term game, and acquiring a ton of assets is a long-term game. So I'm in it for the long run. I like making these videos, talking about this stuff off the cuff. If anyone has any comments or questions, please comment below. Please like the video, do all that good stuff. Let me know if there's any topics you'd like me to talk about. I'm by no means an expert on any of this stuff, but I've done my research, I've done my homework, and I think about it a lot, and I write about it a lot, just for my personal accounts or records or whatever you want to call it. So feel free to hit me up. That's what this is all about. It's all about getting people to think about this stuff, showing people what I'm doing. Maybe you like what I'm doing and you want to replicate some of that. Maybe you think it's stupid and it makes you even more set in your ways, which is fine. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I do what I do. I do what I think is best for my life. So that's it. That's Max, day 2 of Wealthier by the Day. Stay tuned for more. Thank you. Bye.